Hello, folks. Barb Ashcroft here with Changing Lives with Hope, Health, and hopefully a little humor along the way as well. And looking really forward to this time today, interviewing Dave Hurley, the Resistance Band man. And I want to give you a little bit of an introduction to him. He's an online personal trainer, group fitness coach, workplace wellness coach, and resistance band training expert. And he hails from County Cork, Ireland. And I have to tell you, I'm going to be excited to see him in person in the middle of May. And so we really both come from a wellness standpoint. And I thought, what a great synergy to be able to share our own top tips for people to stay well and get well. And before we go into that part of it, I just want to share my passion, my why in doing what I'm doing at close to 77 years is I want to change the face of aging. I want to diminish the fear of aging. And that was something that Dave and I, when we first met, we discussed how it's possible. And so he has some wonderful teaching that he's going to be sharing. And so, welcome, Dave. Thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you very much, Barb. Delighted to be here. Absolutely delighted. From a very sunny County Cork, you'll be glad to hear.
Ah, that's good. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, we talked about sharing some top tips that we've had from our experience in our professions. So I'll let you get started with some of your top ones.
Sure. Well, firstly, may I start by saying you look absolutely remarkable for 77.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. And as you know, I'm resistance band man, all the way from Ireland, and like yourself, I'm all about health and well-being, and as we age and none of us are getting any younger, it doesn't mean you can't be good and healthy and fit. So for me, one of the top tips that I'm going to start with is strength training.
Mm.
So when I talk about strength training, it's different to your typical cardio exercising that you might do. Strength training is all about our muscle, our lean muscle mass. So we're looking at preserving, maintaining that lean muscle mass as we age. There are so many reasons we need to do that, and I'll call our skeletal muscle the organ of longevity. We spoke about this before, of course,
Yeah.
and it absolutely is the organ of longevity, and it's what's going to give us good health as we age. So, for example, it's going to boost your metabolism, and with increased metabolism will come a reduced metabolic age. Who doesn't want to reduce metabolic
Yeah,
age? So
yeah.
our internal age is much younger than our actual age. It protects our joints, of course. It makes us more stable, so it helps us with our balance and our coordination. Again, very important as we get older. And it boosts our mood and our overall mental health. So, like, who doesn't want a bit of that in their life?
Absolutely. My goodness. Yes. Well, we talk about for those seniors that yes, falling is a really big issue as far as even estimating the duration of your life because of how detrimental it is. So anything that we can do to help with that sounds fantastic. So what is your number two tip?
Flexibility. It's kind of linked in particular with what I'm all about with my resistance bands, because like flexibility as we age has so many benefits, of course, and it's not something that takes a lot of time, believe it or not. I mean,
Mhm.
5-10 minutes a day is more than enough, but it's one of those things that you have to consistently do it to maintain it, because if we stop, we start to lose it. So I teach my clients, specific flexibility exercises that you can do using these resistance bands, of course. And if you think about, your range of motion in itself even. People that are inflexible are usually quite stiff. You know, so if you've got great flexibility, your muscles are much looser, you've got far less risk of injury, you've got more agility, you can get to do all those chores around the house that could be quite difficult if you don't have that range of flexibility. And of course, it's different for everybody, Barb. You know, I mean, I'm very
Right, yeah.
fortunate, I've got a good range of flexibility. But the one promise I make all of my clients, of course, is wherever you are right now with flexibility, you'll be much better over time. So if you look forward 1 year from now and you start engaging with those flexibility exercises, you will be a whole lot better 1 year to come.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so key to uh well, how can I say it? I have three words that I assess when I have any client or potential customer in front of me, and that is you gotta wanna,
Yes. So true.
because anything we can do to help propel people to stay in motion, to stay active, to stay in self-care. I'm huge about self-care. And so anything that we can do with mindset corrections, pivoting all of that to be able to help them, and having some key strategic people in your life to help you, to motivate you, is marvelous. So thank you for what you're doing there. So how about tip number three?
Number three is quite a simple one, and it's drink water, right?
Oh, you
And
stole one of mine.
I don't. You know what? We can share a conversation about
Oh, oh,
Barb,
okay.
because it's such an important one, because I'm always amazed the amount of people that struggle to drink water. I was always, even as a young kid, someone that enjoyed water, but not everybody does. And what I teach my clients, I guess, is there are different options. If you're not someone that likes drinking still water or sparkling water, then have some herbal teas, because herbal teas is your hydration as well, of course, or maybe have infused waters. But like the benefits of drinking water daily, and I would say at least 2 liters a day, are huge. I mean, think about your circulation, all the toxins you remove from your body. I mean, like yourself, I'll be 60 next January, right? So I have a big year coming up, and for me, I
A
would
young
definitely.
pup, a
Yeah,
young
young
pup.
pup. I like the sound of that, Barb, right? But my skin is in good nick, and I really put that down to water that I consume every day. That hydration I get in my body, it's great for endurance as well, and strength. Of course, when we're working out, we need that hydration. So for me, your water intake is a must every day for sure.
Hmm. Absolutely. And that is definitely one that is on the top of my list. And, I've got mine right here. And
That might to the side.
you know, it's so key. And as I come from a history of being a natural practitioner, that was an awareness that I gained as well, of how many people even can't break down water, because water has a skin on it, right? And and it's amazing how many people have challenges with that. But what they can also do with that is they can warm it up, because that
Yes.
will break down that inability to do that. Another aspect for me, like for what I support people to do or encourage them to do, is to have at least 64 ounces of water, good water, pure water a day, and not glugging it, but sipping on it all day long. Not just downing 8 ounces in one, sitting, because it's important for it to become cellular into the body. And the other thing that's really key for me is the first water. What I do as a tip or trick for me is I have a carafe on our island in the kitchen, and it's full. And that means every time I go by, I, you know, that's the reminder, get the water. But the first carafe or the first glass of water of the day, I always put in a pinch, and you'll like this, a pinch of Celtic salt,
Yes,
or if you can't get that in other countries, we have pink Himalayan
we
salt,
have it here as well.
right? And so what that does is that actually works so well to carry electrolytes through the system. And the body is a body of messages, messages going and coming. So anything you can do to impact that is really important. And it like you say, it makes all the difference in the world.
Absolutely, tip though with the salt, because people don't think about that and the electrolytes, and especially if you're drinking a lot of water as well.
Mhm.
It's even more important, of course. So that's a great reminder.
Yeah, so that's one of the tips of mine that I don't mind sharing with you.
Do you ever try? Do
Uh,
you ever try lemon juice with your water?
uh, Often, yes. Having lemon first thing in the morning too really does help with the liver, helping with detoxify. And if I'm going to a restaurant, I don't know how I'm going to do in Ireland with this because I'm really not a drinker of,
Okay.
of Guinness or anything like that. But every meal, always when I get to a restaurant, when they ask what I want, I always ask for hot water and lemon to help set up my digestion. So we'll see how I do. It'll be interesting.
Well, I'll be recommending some places you can visit where they'll be more than accommodating to give you your lemon and your warm water. And it's how
Okay.
I start my day actually as well, Barb, with the lemon juice. It sets me up for the day.
Hmm.
And I've been doing that now probably for 16, 17 years now, and
Right.
it makes a huge difference.
Yes, good for you. Well, that's great, and that's what we want to share with our friends here is just some easy tips. It's doesn't have to be life, altering to be
Mm,
putting some of these things in place. It's a tweak. It's a little pivot. Just having the availability, and for many people, it's just we're so busy, right? We're so busy that
this is a big
we
problem.
we we just don't have self-care as the first thing on our list.
But
And
people just get consumed with their day, don't they?
mhm.
I work with a lot of really busy professionals. I was one myself for many years, of course, and we neglect ourselves and not realizing, of course, by paying more attention to our own well-being, it would help us perform so much better at our jobs anyway. And like you said a while ago about having the water on the island as a reminder, I keep reminding my clients, yeah, you've got to just make it as easy as possible for yourself. Don't be trying too hard. Don't be doing stuff that's not sustainable. Slow, steady progress is the way to go. And of course, having people like yourself and myself in mind as well to help them and encourage them makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody needs a buddy.
Yes, we just need
Where
the right buddies.
the right buddy. There you go. I like that. So one of my other tips that I have that goes hand in hand with the water is making sure you have minerals. And there's different ways of doing that. And everybody, as you said, is a rule of one. We're an experiment of one. So you've got to own it. So one of the things I do is I have mineral sachets that I drop into my water.
Great
And
idea.
and that has the minerals in it. And it also breaks down the surface tension on the water. So
Something people don't think about at all, of course, isn't it?
yeah, so that's key. But also one of the biggest nutrients we're deficient in is magnesium. And
Yes.
so if people are getting the Charlie horses, the leg cramps or whatever, I mean, the body is always talking to us, right, Dave? And one of my mentors, precious gentleman, Dr. Zare, used to say, your body says more than yum yum and poo poo.
I love that. Brilliant.
It's talking to us all the time. So we've got to learn what the signals are. And of course, for many people that are having some kind of inflammatory issue, it's not like the car oil light that comes on. You just don't go and turn off the circuit so that you don't see it. You actually, it's a flag saying something's going on
Mm.
in the body. So, so it's just really wonderful to be a support for people. The third tip I have, and what I want to do is I want to show a uh, a 2 minute little 2 minute and 8 second video because I think it sums it up really well
Sure.
as far as what we can do for ourselves. And you'll, I think you'll really enjoy the how active the people are in this little video, Dave. So I'm going to show that first, and
Looking
then
forward.
okay. So let me just click over to share here.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, and live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy. For improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that could support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
My third tip is like many of the folks that you work with, and I think also, Dave, you shared that you were a busy corporate entrepreneur as well. And for me, with all of my years of practicing, I went into what many of us have experienced, which is adrenal exhaustion. And so that was the point where you definitely don't have any get up and go, but also the aspect for me for wellness is that yes, people want to exercise, but what I work from is, well, let's help them energize cellularly so that they have the energy to exercise. And I want to share quickly a personal story that I had, because my experience is really, and that's what I had hoped to show you, was a little tiny video relating to working with our stem cells. And that was my experience. That was my training, was working with stem cells and helping the body. So here I am, adrenal exhausted, and my husband, we live in a beach community, and so we were at this point walking along the beach, and I had been following a protocol that helps support my stem cells and give me repair and restoration. And I looked at him, and my husband's 6'1", and I'm not even 5 feet. So there's a difference there. So I'm looking up and saying, okay, I challenge you to a race. And he
Okay.
looked at me and he said, okay, who are you? And what have you done with my wife? And that was 2011. And that was absolutely the most pivotal aspect of me as I'm a certified herbalist, iridologist, live blood cell microscopist, and educational kinesiologist. But that was profound to see how the body could repair. And that's what I focus on now, is helping people with being able to get the electrical conductivity in their body to do that. And how we do that is helping them with uh, light therapy. And so what that does is it works from a different focus, and that focus is to be able to charge up cellularly. So it's actually energy from the inside out. And so you'll see, uh, I'm not David Beckham. I know I don't quite look like him, but
Yes, I
this,
believe he's a fan, isn't he?
well, so anyways, I've got different patches on
Yes.
my lung points that use acupuncture meridians to be able to carry the messages. And if you saw some of the pictures of David Beckham, you'd see him with those on his chest running off the soccer field, or as I shared with you, you'd see Serena Williams with them on her wrist to be able to support tennis and all of that. So what I love to do is I love to get people having affordable light therapy that they can wear, that they can, you know, work with to support. So we've got hydration, we've got minerals, and then we've got the electrical charges that go through the whole body through the acupuncture system, those meridians. And what those you're probably well aware of this, but what those meridians are is they are simply threads of collagen that are impregnated with electrolytes throughout your whole system. And it's 200 times faster than your nervous system to have a response. And that's why we see so many great things. So that's my way of helping people have the energy to then be able, and they want to exercise then, and they want to do better. And especially, as you know, many people are having lots of stress issues, especially
Mhm.
in these days. And so many of us are creating cortisol, get the whole ring around the middle of all the cortisol in our system. And so it's wonderful to have that help. So I'm so sorry I wasn't able to show you that video, but for any of the watchers that would like access to that, I'll be happy to send them that in the outreach. But something I would like to share with you, and I have, and in fact, I think I have shared this with you, is this is a challenge that I have done with many of my people. I work with some ultra marathoners. And so this will show you the light therapy and the results. And I think this is done from the studies. And Dave, I'm so excited that the studies, many of them are done in Galway at the
Right.
university there.
So
So
that
thrilled to spend some time in Galway and find out what all is happening. But this is light therapy that is activating, and this is the response after 2 months of sit-ups, push-ups, squats, etc., with just the one patch, which works with the copper peptides. And then this is with both of the patches. which is marvelous. And then, of course, again, from the studies, 100%, 112% improvement. And I'm not planning on looking like that. I just want to get to 80 looking trim, slim, and energetic is what I'm doing. But anyways, I just, I encourage people to do their own pilot study, to do their own 1 to 2 months and see what can happen when they add in some wonderful light therapy. And we named our website Stronger Longer because that's what
That's a great name.
with what we're doing. But so we've got strength training, we've got flexibility, we've got shared hydration,
Yes.
and then we have minerals, making sure that you have the minerals in the system. And I always find it interesting. I don't know if it's the same in Ireland and in Europe or wherever, but in Canada, they'd always have for children multivitamins, but never multivitamin minerals, because minerals don't normally taste good. But I
Yes.
just thought, what a lack that is, So
Those little sachets seem like a really practical solution, don't they?
yes, they really are, and it's such a easy peasy way of being able to implement some self-care. And for myself, I just want to finish off part of my story is that my lifelong sojourn has been, I got into wellness because I had came in through the back door, and that was after 13 surgeries. So I had been through the medical route, and what my poor little body had to cope with was I've always had liver, gallbladder kind of stuff going on. And so I've always been monitoring that. But some years ago I ended up in the ER, and the liver markers were absolutely scary. They were just scary. One of the markers was supposed to be under 31, and mine was 839.
Wow.
So that was, and I did a study or a report called The Proof is in the Blood Work. And so being conscientious, I was doing all the things you do to get healthy, to look after the liver. And after a year of using those patches that I just shared, that marker went, because I hit a wall. I just stalled, and I thought, what can I do? So I implemented those patches, and in 1 year it went down to 44.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
And so, and what's funny is the medical labs had then updated it. You don't need to be under 31. You need to be, or rather, I was 47, and they moved the marker, the range up to 44. So I was 3 out of normal, and just thought, yes, when you can see the proof in your blood work, it's so powerful. So I'm just so energized to hear what you're doing. I'm energized and motivated to implement some of the things that you're doing. So how do people get your resistant bands? Do you want to, you can certainly also send me how to do that so I can add it in the show notes so people can access that. But how are there different kinds of resistance
There
bands?
are. I mean, I'm holding one here now, right? So this is you'll be familiar with bands like these here. So this is a medium strength. They come in light, medium, and strong. I use a very specific one for my group classes. This is like 9.5 feet long, so it's quite a long one. We can have all kinds of fun with that band, of course, Barb, right? And I'm actually currently, because as you know, I'm on my way to Canada, right? We're going to bring these classes out to Canada. And I'm actually looking at because I've been named resistance band man now for a while, and I want to get that brand on my bands. So I'm actually working on that literally right now, nearly there. So the idea would be that I would be able to provide a link to my bands, which with my branding on it, and whether you're in the US or Canada or Europe, you can get these bands. Currently, what I'm doing is I bespoke make them myself, so I actually send them to my clients. So if a client comes on board with me, I just send them one of these bands or one of the longer bands. And what we do is we come on, we have a consultation. I do a private one-to-one tuition with them, and I teach them the exercises, and I assess them and see what they can and can't do, and get them ready for the group class. Then that's what I do. I guess, Barb, for me, you know, having been, you mentioned being that busy professional, I've been in business since 1994, and not in that fitness world, of course, in print and design, believe it or not, back then. But fitness was always my passion from the age of 12. So I've been doing fitness for 47 years. And you mentioned that word profound a while ago. And I use the same word when it comes to when I picked up my first resistance band 16 years ago. It was quite profound, going from lifting weights in the gym to doing something so different. And I was amazed how little people knew about these bands. And at the time I was doing it for myself. I wasn't even planning on teaching it. But the more I got involved with it, the more I fell in love with it, the more I thought, I got to teach people this. I got to show people and tell them the secret of these bands. So I went away and qualified as a personal trainer and fitness coach. And now I bring that experience and my story to all these busy professionals who generally tend to be above the age of 40 anyway, and have let life get in the way. And I'm teaching them, like, it doesn't have to be that way at all. It doesn't have to be hard work, and you just have to do it in a sustainable way. And I love doing that. Really, really love it.
That's fantastic. And I'm so enjoying your posts on LinkedIn because you share tips and you share, well, you know, I have to tell you that when you're doing your push-ups, that's, you know, it's
I know. I listen. I've done some flexibility demonstrations. I've done the splits. I've brought my head down to my knees. When I was a kid, you know, when I was 12, 13, 14, and I was in martial arts, my hero was Bruce Lee at the time. And I remember
okay.
Bruce Lee bending his head down and folding his body in half. And I remember saying, wouldn't that be so cool if I could do that one day? And here I am at 59 and I can do it, right?
Oh,
But
oh,
I've been
that's
consistent with it for many years, and I keep really on top of my flexibility. But the remarkable thing about the bands, Barb, is that they are low impact, and they're for everybody, whether you're a teenager or whether you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. I've got clients in their 70s and 80s, and I love working with people like that, because I think what happens, unfortunately, in the fitness industry is, as we get older, we're forgotten about. And I want to be the guy that's the advocate for the older person, because fitness matters more as you age. People don't realize that, you know, but it's how you choose to exercise is what matters. And having that great feeling of strength, it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it? Not just the physical strength, but the mental strength that comes with it as well.
yeah.
And I mean, like, I'm sure you can relate to this. I mean, you probably look at your life now, you look back, and you probably feel better now than what you did 20, 30 years ago. And I certainly
Absolutely.
do, you know.
And you know, and that is so cool because as I'm racing my husband on the beach, right?
That's brilliant.
But also, you know, talking about the push-ups, we were just at a special event, and one of the gentlemen shared 52, had a very, very stressful job, and he works 12-hour shifts. So what they did is they implemented every hour on the hour, they had to have a break and do 12 push-ups. And
Good
so
idea.
he's 52, and these are guys are 30 and 40, etc., that he's working with. Anyways, he's also a bit of an Excel, you know, nerd. And so he did a spreadsheet on what he had done, and he ended up, after a year, he had done 40,000 push-ups.
Wow.
And so he
Amazing.
was, so he was sharing about the light therapy patches, how they make all the difference for him. And all these guys are saying, yes, you're aging in reverse, because there was only one guy that was able to keep up with him out of all those young ones, but it's
Isn't that
just
fantastic?
isn't that great? So I'm not aiming for 40,000, maybe one or two would be great. But anyways, so what I'm going to do, Dave, is I'm going to ask for an autograph one when I get to Cork, County Cork. Maybe I'll get an autograph, resistance.
It's my pleasure to give you
You
an
know,
autograph one for sure.
so
It won't be long coming. May is only around the corner.
that's right. Yes, and we're looking forward to that in a big way. So just to summarize, or some last minute thoughts that you have to encourage the listeners. So what would you like to share that with?
Well, I would like to say to everybody out there who thinks it's too late, it's never too late to start. Just start now. Start
Mhm.
small, slow, steady progress. Don't be looking for perfection, doesn't exist.
Mhm.
And pick up a resistance band. You will never regret it. It's actually
Mhm.
life-changing when you do.
That's wonderful. And I also just want to encourage the listeners that, you know, we've all been in a different world since 2020. It's been a whole different dynamic with different stresses, different chain supply issues, and being able to access the tools that you need. But every 7 years, you are a new person. So it doesn't matter what age you are. If you have a mindset that you really desire to be healthy and vibrant with really good cognitive function, there's the opportunity to plug in and find those tools. And I consider myself a hub. If I don't know, then I find people who do know and I can refer you. So appreciate that Dave Hurley of Dave Hurley Fitness has joined us today from Ireland. And we'll see him in the flesh in another month's time. And so I'm getting, I had to have an interview, folks. I had to get broken into the accent so I can pick it up better. And hopefully we've provided a little bit of hope, health, and humor for you today. But as we sign off all the time is be blessed and be a blessing. Thank you so much for joining me, Dave.
Thank you so much, Barb. It's been an absolute pleasure being here with you today.
That's terrific. Thank you.
That was great.